$572 billion. One man's obsession built this. The world's largest employer, built from nothing. He started with $5,000 and a dream. No investors, no connections, just relentless will. One farmer's son would rewrite American commerce forever. Kingfisher, Oklahoma. March 1918. A boy is born. His father farmed the earth. The land gave little back. The Great Depression hit. His family had almost nothing. His mother sold milk. Young Michael delivered every bottle. He learned early, work hard or go without. At school, he watched the popular kids. He took notes. He was elected student body president. Charm was currency. University of Missouri, economics degree, zero safety net. He waited tables, delivered papers, paid every cent himself. Graduation day, 1940. The world was his. He chose retail. Des Moines, Iowa. His first job, $75 a week. He was the worst bookkeeper, the best salesman on the floor. Numbers frustrated him. People energized him completely. 1942, war called. Michael answered without hesitation. He served. He observed everything. He never stopped planning. Valentine's Day, 1943. He married Helen. She believed in him. War ended. He had a plan and a father-in-law with money. $20,000 borrowed, $5,000 saved. Time to build. Newport, Arkansas, 1945. A tiny variety store, his first empire. He read every retail manual he could find, cover to cover. He drove to competitor stores, studied shelves, copied what worked. Self-service was new. He adopted it before anyone else. Metal shelves, longer hours, lower prices, customers flooded in. In 2 years, his store became the best in the region. Then the landlord struck. No renewal clause. He lost everything. Forced out. Humiliated. He called it his lowest moment. But humiliation became fuel. He would never make that mistake again. Bentonville, Arkansas, 1950. Starting over, again. Walton's Five and Dime, a new name, a new mission. He bought directly from manufacturers, cut out the middleman entirely. Lower costs meant lower prices. Lower prices meant more customers. His idea was simple. His execution was relentless. He proposed a discount franchise model. They laughed at him. They said small towns couldn't support discount retail. He proved otherwise. He mortgaged his house and bet everything on himself. The 2nd of July 1962, Rogers, Arkansas. The first Walmart opens its doors to the public. The sign was simple. The promise was bold. The lowest prices in town, always. On that first day, shoppers came from 40 miles away to save a few dollars. His philosophy was simple. Sell more at thinner margins, never the other way around. Within 3 years, Walmart expanded to 3 stores and $1.4 million in annual sales. He placed warehouses near stores, guaranteeing products arrived within 1 day of ordering. This distribution system gave him a speed advantage no competitor could match. He visited competing stores personally, walking every aisle, noting every price and display strategy. He filled yellow legal pads with observations on pricing, displays, and customer behavior. He hired store managers and gave them real decision-making power over their locations. This decentralized model meant stores adapted to local customers faster than any competitor. He called his employees associates and treated them as partners in the business. He offered stock options to every employee long before it was fashionable in retail. Cash bonuses tied to store performance drove loyalty that money alone couldn't buy. By 1967, the Walton family owned 24 stores generating $12.7 million in combined annual sales. Competitors dismissed him as a regional player with no chance of national reach. He ignored every critic. He was already planning his next 50 stores. He formally incorporated as Walmart Stores, incorporated in 1969, building a real foundation. 1970. Walmart goes public. The stock offering raised $5 million overnight. That IPO financed a decade of relentless expansion across the American heartland. From 1970 to 1971, 6 new stores opened, then 13, then 13 again. He believed small towns deserved the same low prices as big city shoppers. Every new store was placed strategically near a distribution hub to slash delivery costs. He bought goods in enormous volumes, then demanded even lower prices from suppliers. Suppliers who met his terms gained access to millions of American consumers. Those who refused were quietly replaced by manufacturers who understood his terms. He tracked every product sold in every store using one of the first computerized systems in retail. Real-time inventory data meant shelves were always stocked and never wasted with dead inventory. He piloted barcode scanning technology in his stores before any national chain considered it standard. His technology investments were mocked by Wall Street. They called them unnecessary luxuries. Within 5 years, those same technologies saved hundreds of millions in operational costs. He flew his own single-engine plane to visit stores, arriving unannounced to observe operations firsthand. These surprise visits kept every manager sharp, accountable, and always operating at peak performance. He held Saturday morning meetings at 7 a.m., reviewing every store's weekly performance numbers together. Those meetings became legendary, the blueprint for how a disciplined retail culture is built. By 1975, Walmart operated 125 stores with annual sales exceeding $340 million across the South. Sears, Kmart, and other giants finally noticed. But they were already too far behind. Kmart tried to match his prices. Their cost structure made it nearly impossible to sustain. He entered every competitor's store and walked every inch of it every single time he traveled. He knew his enemies better than they knew themselves. That was his strategic superpower. In 1980, Walmart crossed 276 stores and became the fastest-growing retailer in American history. That year, Walmart's annual revenue surpassed $1 billion for the first time in its history. He celebrated not with champagne, but by opening 3 new stores the following Monday morning. He began aggressive expansion into Missouri, Tennessee, Kansas, and Texas in rapid succession. His expansion strategy was surgical, always rural, first, then suburban, then urban markets. By targeting underserved rural communities first, he built loyalty that urban competitors never earned. In 1983, he launched Sam's Wholesale Club, targeting bulk buyers and small business owners. The wholesale club model gave him an entirely new revenue stream beyond traditional retail. He demanded zero waste in operations. Every cent saved was passed directly to the customer. His headquarters remained in small-town Bentonville, Arkansas, humility built into the foundation. He drove a battered old pickup truck, refusing luxury as a matter of principle and identity. When he became one of America's richest men, his lifestyle barely changed at all. His frugality was genuine, not performance. It came from watching his father scrape through hard times. He believed customers should feel the company's values every single time they walked through the door. He introduced store greeters, a simple human touch that changed how Americans experienced shopping. By 1985, Forbes named him the richest man in the United States, worth an estimated $2.8 billion. He used his wealth to push harder, not to rest. Expansion never paused. The satellite network he built to link all stores was the largest private satellite system in the world. It allowed headquarters to monitor sales, inventory, and customer trends in real time a decade early. He partnered with Procter & Gamble to pioneer the first-ever retailer-supplier data-sharing program. That partnership redefined supply chain management and became a model studied in business schools globally. By 1987, Walmart had grown to 1,198 stores, employing over 200,000 people across America. He was now competing in every region, every state, against every major American retailer simultaneously. He launched the Walmart Supercenter format, combining groceries with general merchandise under one enormous roof. The Supercenter gave customers a complete shopping experience in one visit, one parking lot, one store. Grocery chains panicked. Nobody had seen a retailer do this at this scale before. He crossed 1,000 stores by 1990, with 150,000 employees and still growing exponentially. Walmart dethroned Sears as America's largest retailer, a historic shift in American commerce. He had done, in 30 years, what others predicted would take a century to achieve. In 1991, he looked out over an empire and began planning international expansion into Mexico and beyond. He partnered with Cifra, a Mexican retail chain, launching Walmart's very first international footprint. He understood that the same value pricing model would resonate with consumers on every continent. In early 1992, President George H.W. Bush awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It was the highest civilian honor in America given to a man who grew up milking cows. Even as illness took hold, he visited stores, asked questions, and never stopped being curious. He published his autobiography, Made in America, sharing every lesson, mistake, and strategy openly. The book became a business classic read by every serious entrepreneur for a generation after him. On the 5th of April 1992, Sam Walton passed away from bone marrow cancer at the age of 74. At the time of his death, Walmart operated 1,928 stores, generating $44 billion in annual revenue. He had turned a $5,000 investment into the largest retail corporation on earth in 50 years. After his passing, Walmart did not slow down, it accelerated, honoring every principle he had built. By 2000, Walmart became the world's largest corporation by revenue, surpassing every business on the planet. His children and grandchildren continued his mission, stewarding an empire touching 2 billion lives annually. The Walton Family Foundation, established in 1987, poured billions into education and community development. Millions of American children received better schools because of the wealth he created from scratch. The foundation focused on charter schools, environmental conservation, and access to opportunity for all Americans. His approach to philanthropy mirrored his approach to business: maximize impact at minimum waste. He believed that ordinary working people, given the right tools, could accomplish absolutely anything. That belief drove every hire, every promotion, and every decision about how to treat his 200,000 associates. His legacy was not measured in stores or dollars, it was measured in millions of lives quietly changed. Today, Walmart employs over 2.1 million associates, the largest private workforce on earth. Over 10,500 stores now operate across 19 countries, all built on the principles of one determined man. In 2021, Walmart generated $572 billion in revenue, more than the GDP of most nations on earth. By 2026, the Walton family's net worth surpassed $440 billion, the richest family dynasty in history. All of that wealth traces back to one small store in Newport, Arkansas, in 1945. The lesson is not about money. The lesson is about obsession applied to service. He was not the smartest man in retail. He was the most curious and the most relentless. He lost his first store completely. Instead of quitting, he used the pain to build something immortal. Every business leader who studies his story learns the same core truth: volume over ego, always. He proved that small-town America was not a limitation, it was the ultimate competitive advantage. He taught the world that the best way to get rich is to make life cheaper for millions of others. His competitors never understood that his real product was trust, and he never stopped delivering it. He democratized access to quality products for working-class Americans who had no other affordable option. That singular mission serve the customer remained unchanged from the first store to the 10,000th. He built a culture so strong that even after his death, 2.1 million people carry his values forward every day. His story proves that the greatest empires are not built on genius, they are built on discipline and service. Every startup founder, every store owner, every entrepreneur can trace a direct path from his playbook to their future. He once said, "There is no limit to what ordinary working people can achieve when given the right opportunity." Those words were not just inspiration, they were the operating manual of the most successful business in history. He started with a farm, a loan, and a dream, and left behind the blueprint for the American century. What separates legends from the rest is not talent, it is the refusal to stay down after every fall. He fell hard in Newport in 1950. He turned that fall into the foundation of a $500 billion empire. His story is not about retail, it is about what happens when